Elon Musk, a famous entrepreneur, has been on an adventure in Antarctica, a mysterious continent. There, he found some secrets that nobody knows yet. Musk and some scientists found something huge moving around on the ice. Nobody knows what it is or why it's there. Let's find out more about this strange discovery together. At the beginning, nobody noticed the huge thing because it resembled a common iceberg, which was almost entirely covered with ice. Nevertheless, when it started moving and the ice melted around it, everyone realized it was not an ordinary thing. Scientists became intrigued with the phenomenon and started studying it to find out what it was. As they learned more, they altered what they thought the object was and also came up with theories about what it might be. However, otherworldly findings in Antarctica aren't novel either. Remember that time in 2022 when scientists discovered a bunch of little critters living under the ice? They discovered a hole in the ice shelf in the picture taken from the satellite and dived down to find the home of amphipods, which are tiny crustaceans. These little people had to live about 500 meters deep under the surface. And there was another big discovery too. As a result, they discovered that the small plants called phytoplankton were growing under the ice. This result was unexpected because it was generally believed that the dark and cold environment wouldn't let them live. However, these plants were using the same amount of light as those that received only 1% of normal sunlight. Antarctica has been the place of some remarkable discoveries that have not only pushed the limits of what we thought was possible, but also played a big role in our understanding of the world. Not too long ago, a group of scientists on an icebreaker ship in the Weddell Sea stumbled upon something mind-blowing. Around 60 million nests of ice fish, the fish themselves being the sentries. These nests were evenly spaced at a distance of around 10 inches from each other, which covered a large area of about 93 square kilometers. However, what is truly surprising is that the most interesting discovery in Antarctica was yet to come. The Gorbachev Mountains? Are you familiar with them? They are hidden under the ice sheet, but their beauty is incomparable and named after the Russian scientist Grigory A. Gorbachev. These mountains cover approximately 1,200 kilometers, with a maximum height of 3,000 meters. That is about a third of the height of Mount Everest. It is amazing that no one has ever been to the mountains and had a close view of them. Their very first detection was made through a radar research record that had magnetic and gravitational readings, which was in 1958. Although scientists have tried to explain their origin from their base, they are still perplexed about how and why they came into being. What is even more intriguing is their presence in the area where no tectonic plates are moving. The other astonishing finding in the Antarctic is a dry valley, which is in fact a desert in the icy region. Although it occupies a negligible 0.2% of the continent's total area, it is indeed huge, with very little rainfall and the tallest sand dunes reaching up to 70 meters in height. In addition to that, the dunes shift by 1.5 meters each year. Wait, it gets even better! Antarctica has so many more amazing secrets. By utilizing the sophisticated radar gear on their aircraft, scientists discovered an extensive underground river network. In the beginning, they thought they had discovered 4 different rivers, but it later turned out to be one very big river. This is very amazing because the river runs for more than 300 miles, which is longer than that of England's Thames River. What is the point of this? Just imagine that the area where this river is located has melted because of climate change. It could result in a sea level rising by as much as 14 feet, and this in turn could cause a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. And there's another alarming discovery. The Thwaites Glacier, which is also known as the Doomsday Glacier, is definitely in a bad state. Scientists discovered that it is just barely attached to the bedrock, as if it were suspended in the air by a thread and was hanging upside down like a wrecking ball. If it gets separated completely, it could result in a fast drift, accelerating the melting of ice in Antarctica and consequently flooding many parts of the world. This is one of the many discoveries that scientists make. They found parallel grooves on the seafloor around the glacier that were caused by its previous movements, maybe even hundreds of years ago. However, the secrets of Antarctica remain uncovered, and it is not necessary to be an observer to unravel them. As the expedition progresses and we penetrate deeper into its mysterious and boundless environment, we discover something else, this time even more extraordinary. Picture yourself in a place that is as big as the country of Ireland, but is completely empty no signs of human life. These monstrous cracks of water, known as polynyas, are a common phenomenon in the icy waters of the polar regions. Nevertheless, it was the polynya that emerged in 2017 that have especially grown in size, now totaling more than 70,000 square kilometers. Scientists are rubbing their heads in bewilderment, and they're coming up with many explanations of its formation. Among these approaches, some show that the warm water from ocean currents could be melting the ice shelf surface, and hence the hole may grow. Some scientists suggest that marine mammals, for instance, may be making these holes in the ice to get air. However, the question arises as to how that polynya is related to the strange object that was recently found by Elon Musk and his team. At first, scientists thought that it was just an iceberg, which is quite a rational assumption in the light of the fact that Antarctica is an ice-covered continent. So the world just saw the birth of the largest iceberg, A76A, which was 84 miles long and 16 miles wide and was separated from the Ron ice shelf. It moved over Antarctica before it turned toward Drake Passage, which is notorious for its stormy waters. Nevertheless, when the scientists began to look at the facts more closely, they found some discrepancies that didn't make sense from an iceberg perspective. As if the ice had been cut with a knife, the surface was covered with strange skid marks and grooves, and it did not have the natural transparency of icebergs. The fact that it was an anomaly led to a great deal of theories and speculations, some of which even suggested the possibility that it was a military craft. It may sound like an absurd conspiracy theory, but it is not totally out of the question given the region's historical geopolitical situation. Since the beginning of time, governments and military agencies have held classified activities in isolated places that cannot be seen by the public. And why not conduct the tests in the desolated and solitary areas of Antarctica, which are most suitable for this purpose? In 1961, the Antarctic Treaty was signed by the principal states of the world. The treaty went ahead to say that these nations had to abstain from building any military bases in Antarctica except for research purposes. The U.S. has made a great contribution to the creation of this agreement after World War II. The U.S. conducted an Army expedition known as Operation High Jump to train the personnel to endure extreme cold and to test a number of materials. The situation, however, was a source of worry to other countries looking for military advantages in the Antarctic. Finally, after long, tough talks, 12 countries, including the U.S., ratified it. However, others still believe that notwithstanding the treaty, these countries would have had Antarctica at their disposal for scientific research or military purposes. As scientists keep studying the thing, we'll eventually find out the truth. But for now, people are guessing if it's a space rock, a military thing, an iceberg, or something else entirely. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more cool stuff. Thanks for watching.